We are just a few short weeks away from the start of the NBA season. Training camp is just around the corner. A lot of teams are still wondering what the final piece to their team is. And some teams are looking at what trade packages they need to offer to get the final piece to their roster. Especially when a name like Damian Lillard is still on the table. And if Miami is out of negotiations, other teams are gonna emerge. And according to reports, the two teams to watch in the pursuit of Dame is Toronto and the Chicago Bulls. And according to one NBA insider, if Toronto gives up significant assets to Portland for Dame, the New York Knicks could be positively benefited. We're going to look into exactly how the New York Knicks could be benefited from a move the Toronto Raptors make, and if the New York Knicks should even entertain any type of trade with Portland after the fact. We're going to look into this and so much more today on the Knicks Digest. Now, some New York Knicks fans, after hearing this report, are going to be a little upset because they wanted Damian Lillard. That was the prize for them. Unfortunately, it doesn't seem like Dame wants to go anywhere else besides Miami. So why other teams like Chicago and Toronto want to trade for him? Because he's going to be a rental. But if you want to trade significant assets in order to get Dame for a rental to maybe compete for a championship, please, by all means, go ahead. Give those assets to Portland because Portland's trying to rebuild. And if they want to rebuild, there's no need for significant assets that are going to make them better. So they're going to trade him away. And if one of those assets happen to be OG Anunoby, then perhaps OG could be headed to the New York Knicks, at least according to one NBA insider. Shout out to Jake Fisher from Yahoo Sports, who reported the following about Damian Lillard and potentially where he could go. According to Jake Fisher, in this particular scenario, he has the Toronto Raptors trading for Damian Lillard. And one of the significant pieces they have to give up in the trade is OG Anunoby. And according to him, moving Anunoby and other compensation for Lillard, though, is a much different prospect than moving him for picks from a team such as Memphis or New York. But what goes back to the Blazers? And if you're Portland, could the chance of moving Anunoby rekindle conversations with suitors such as the Knicks and add to the greatest possible return of Cronin's staff seeks? Otherwise, maybe Anunoby simply sticks around in Portland. You see, here's the thing. I said it before. If OG Anunoby is part of the trade for Damian Lillard and he ends up in Portland, Portland does not want to win right now. They do want to be competitive, but they don't want to win. They want to make sure they get more assets, they get more picks, and they get more youth so they can rebuild properly without Dame. Life after Dame has to start somewhere. Scoot, he's the first piece. They need more pieces now. And if they trade Dame, getting OG Anunoby is not the move because he's not the player you want. And obviously, he has a player option for next season and he could walk. He's CAA, by the way. So let's just put that out there as well, too. So CAA, he could walk. And obviously, he wants to win. He's about to be in his prime, about to go into his prime years. If that's the case, he wants to re-sign with a contender. The New York Knicks need a wing that is versatile, that can play two-way ball. OG Anunoby is basically the next best thing after Mikal Bridges in terms of fit for the New York Knicks. Portland would be wise to call the New York Knicks and trade OG Anunoby to the Knicks. And here's why. Number one, OG, like I said, is CAA, so he likely is going to get in a contract extension that he wants and that he likes from the New York Knicks. So he's not just going to go there and then leave right after. He's going to go there. He's going to play very well, most likely. He's going to get a contract extension with the New York Knicks and stay there for a lot of years. That's what I expect, especially if he stays within the familia. If he stays in the family, if he stays with CAA, it's likely that he's always going to be part of the New York Knicks, or at least in the conversation of getting contract extensions and things like that. However, the first move for all of this to happen is for Toronto to trade for Dame. Now, conversations for Toronto trading for Dame are not recent. They've been ongoing for weeks and weeks and weeks now. But they've been a little bit quiet because why would you be loud about it? Because everybody knows at the end of the day, Miami has his number. He wants to go to Miami. His family wants to be in Miami. That's where he wants to be. Any team that trades for Dame might either get an unhappy Dame or gets a Dame that's competitive, but only till his contract is up. Because once that contract is up and he can leave, he's going to. And the destination? Miami. Welcome to Miami. Dame is going to Miami. It's not a matter of if, it's when. And I hope Toronto wants to do what they did with Kawhi and basically say, I know it's a rental, but I think I could win now with him, and just trade away everything, or significant pieces, I should say, to the Portland Trailblazers in order to get Damian Lillard as part of this either 3 or 4 team or how many team deal this is likely going to be for Dame at this point. But once the dust settles and Portland has those pieces, they're not going to likely need all of them. Pick up the phone, call Leon Rose, and see what you could get for OG right now. He's essentially leaving. A lot of people may think they know where he's going. It takes away some of the leverage. Call the Knicks, get something versus nothing. Let him come to the Knicks and prove what he can do. Be that two-way player that we need at the wing spot. But not only that, after he plays as well as I expect him to, he's going to get another contract with the Knicks. We all know that, and we all expect that. That's the move for me if Toronto wants to entertain this. And the funny part is, Jake Fisher, one NBA insider, right? He's not the only one. Ian Bagley, another NBA insider who I love and trust, and I always believe his reporting. But in his mailbag, he oddly spoke about OG Anunoby as well too, and spoke about the New York Knicks and the fact that they do have the asset at this point to get a trade and deal done. According to Ian Bagley, let's say Toronto makes OG Anunoby available in trade talks. The Knicks have enough trade capital to make a strong offer for OG Anunoby. And based on past history, we can assume that they would be interested in getting him. So it's clear, the Knicks have interest in getting him. They have the pieces, the talent, and the picks available to get him. And if Portland really wants to deal, and this trade really goes down for Dame with Toronto, the next call on the Blazers list has to be the Knicks, has to be Leon Rose. You pick up the phone, you call him, and you see what you can get for OG Anunoby at this point in time, given the contract, the age, and the type of caliber player that he is. I know a lot of teams are probably going to call you, but the fact that he's CAA, that alone should make you look at the New York Knicks as one of your main trade targets. Pick up the phone and call, because if the New York Knicks can swing a trade for OG Anunoby, one of the best youngest wings in terms of two-way play in the league, it changes things, folks. It makes this Knicks team better. It makes this Knicks team much, much, much better. You need somebody who is selfless, who can play defense at an elite level, and who can also score and get you buckets when you need them to score. OG checks those boxes. I would love to see him on the Knicks. I hope the Knicks can swing a trade to get him, either with Toronto or with Portland if Toronto makes a trade for Dame. Either way, I think he's a perfect fit. He complements the team. He complements what the New York Knicks want to do. He fits the age timeline as well. CAA, he's part of the family. Everything checks the boxes. OG, this might be a plea from me or from all New York Knicks fans, but I'll still say it. Come home. OG, come home. Come home to CAA land, a.k.a. the New York Knicks. Come home. Come where you belong. Come to a team where you will fit it like a glove, even though arguably you've probably fit any team like a glove, but you definitely still fit the New York Knicks team like a glove. Come here, prove what you're worth, get that contract, be that wing that we need, and help this Knicks team compete and be that lethal threat in the East that I know we can be. If you like this video, go ahead and leave a comment below, smash that like button, and of course, guys, don't forget to subscribe to the channel. Until next time, Knicks fans. Peace.